Welcome back to the Quick Save Podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Alex.
And today we're talking about news. There's so much of it, we couldn't even fit it all in last episode.
Yeah, it's crazy. We went crazy long in that one.
And now we're about to probably go crazy long in this one, too. Well, why don't you start off? We got a GameStop walkout. Shh. Don't.
Yeah,
Law and Order
we
theme.
totally did not ever see this coming. So a GameStop in Lincoln, Nebraska had
known for being
a GameStop.
a GameStop in
in
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Had its entire staff walk out due to, quote, poor working conditions, end quote. This is the second time this year that we've had a GameStop forced to close due to the entire staff quitting at once in protest.
Hey, where was the other one at?
You know what's crazy? It was also in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Great. Sounds like GameStop is losing their foothold in Lincoln, Nebraska.
So they locked up the doors and they taped up this paper that I'll read here. It says, quote, "We regret to inform you that we all quit. Our district manager has no respect for us as employees or as human beings. We have been told by our district manager that we were supposed to have had this store achieving sales quotas and running perfectly 6 months ago, which was 3 months before a lot of us had even got hired. Unfortunately, despite the staff's best efforts, we are not God." End quote. Man, imagine walking up to GameStop and that's being what greets you.
Yeah, the final quote you read just says, "We are not God." And you're like, whoa, GameStop going pretty crazy today, huh?
So the letter did continue on sharing locations of close by competitors and ending with, quote, "Spend your money at an establishment that respects its employees," end quote. So you, as a video game store employee, how does this make you feel?
Bad? I don't know. It's the whole thing. I mean, it sucks if you're an employee making no money. I definitely get that. People got to do what they got to do to survive. Valid.
I mean, as far as I know, you haven't had an entire employee walk
Yeah,
out.
definitely. Sometimes it feels like it, but no. We've had some hiring issues, I think, recently. I mean, who hasn't? I think that's just kind of the world we live in currently. I don't know. It's tough, but you would think, obviously, corporation, big old corporation, I think they'd have a handle on stuff like this.
So, like, things that get me on this is, like, you had already another, like, entire staff walk out of your building. How do you as a corporation not look at that and go, what happened? To the point that another one happens within the same year.
And sometimes stuff like this is just power going unchecked. What they mentioned, the district manager in their letter, right? Well, if this district manager is like, oh, it's the employees who suck, some Principal Skinner. No, it's the children who are wrong. Like, if you're hiring people and then you're not training them in correctly, and then these people don't know what to do, and you're like, well, they suck at their job. Well, yeah, they suck at their job because you didn't train them correctly. And you keep being like, well, hey, everybody sucks and we need to do way better. And they don't know what to do because you're not there for, that's the big thing is, like, I always, like, if somebody's not trained in correctly at our store, I always try and make sure, like, hey, let's try and get this person the help that they need, or, like, we'll talk about it during, like, a weekly review, or, like, a monthly review or something. Say, hey, notice you're having issues with this, let's work on it, right? Like, and I've done stuff like that with folks before, walking them through what they need to say, how it needs to be said, how to handle a situation, stuff like that. And I don't know, if you're not doing that and just letting people do whatever they want for months at a time, and then in 4 months you go, this employee sucks. Well, yeah, it's because you weren't there training them or keeping them on the right path when you needed to.
Such a raw quote from, like, the entire staff basically wrote that letter, and ending with, like, "We are not God." I feel like some people might have taken that as, like, oh, the customer has made me get to this point. But I mean, reading through it, it's very much like, hey, the company wasn't there for us.
Very clearly, they mentioned this district manager. So
yeah.
I mean, if I was GameStop and I had my second entire store, like, have to essentially be shut down for a certain period of time, and I've got people pointing to the district manager, I'm going to start looking at the district manager, right?
You would think so.
Yeah, you can't just have this guy who doesn't know, whether the district manager's in the right or the wrong. If every employee writes and signs on this letter that says, like, yeah, district manager screwed us, you need to be looking at district manager and figuring out what's going on.
So, wrapping up on the story, this story is slightly older. We were going to include it in last week's episode, but didn't have time, but we felt that it was pretty important to talk about. You know, GameStop is kind of like the staple icon of like video game trade and sale.
And it's not like they're not making money, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, obviously the whole freaking stupid crypto market's exploding into the stratosphere. Well, not anymore. There was a big crash, right? But that was the whole bit, was like GameStop was going out of business and then sold all their stock, and then their stock made $1 billion, right? So, like,
Yeah, they
the money
hit
exists.
Fortune 500 again after all that.
The money exists, right? Let's get good people in the company where they belong, you know?
All right, let's move on here to something a little less heartbreaking.
The destruction of corporate America. Let's get it started. Capitalism ends today. Sorry, was that not what you were referring to?
No, I was referring to those poor people that were treated so poorly.
Okay, well, you guys just let me know when we're ready for that, and I'll be there. So we're moving on to the next story. Sorry,
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure if that was we ended on a weird thing. Rev up those chainsaws, because we've got a remake for you in 2023. That's right. Beloved classic of the PS3 and 360 era, Lollipop Chainsaw, is getting a remaster.
That's crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
I remember when this game came out, and I feel like it was like a commercial fail almost.
Yeah, it definitely, I feel like it's one of those under the radar games that at the time everybody's like, I was reading, IGN gave this a 5 out of 10. They were like, yeah, whatever, zombie game, you kill zombies, whatever, right? But it's kind of a cult classic now.
Yeah,
I mean,
it got a huge following.
Well,
It's crazy how
that's
big
what
it
happens
is.
when you have a bunch of big names on it. I mean, Suda51 and James Gunn of like Guardians of the Galaxy fame. Suda51 did 1 billion trillion games.
Yep.
Killer is Dead, stuff like that. So you get these huge names working on this project. But yeah, it's kind of one of those cult classics. I know we sell ours at the store for like $65 on PS3. I think it's a bit cheaper on 360, but everything spiked way high, like maybe a year ago.
Did you play this when it originally came out?
No, I own it. I haven't played it yet, though.
Oh man,
I
remember playing it.
I saw somebody put a bunch of dialogue lines up, and I was laughing at, I forget what's the boyfriend's name, because you've got Juliet Starling, and then the boyfriend's like much like God of War. You've got like a decapitated head on your hip, who like provides funny quips and dialogue. But somebody posted a bunch of clips where your boyfriend, who is just a head, is like saying goofy stuff.
Yeah, I remember there's a couple points where he goes, "I believe in you. You can totally kill them," or something.
Yeah,
dumb
he was like
that.
there was one. He was like, "Kill! He gave me a D. Kill that one." Something like that, right? It's very goofy writing. But yeah, so this remake was just announced recently, maybe like a week ago, probably a couple weeks ago when this went up, but pretty recent. Announced by Dragami Games. Yoshimura Yasuda, the original producer of Lollipop Chainsaw, announced the game would be arriving sometime next year. So we don't have a hard date yet, but we have a time frame next year, which is promising. Yasuda explained the remake would have a more realistic approach to graphics, which is a quote. There was an interview with him about the game, which is exciting.
I wonder what a more realistic approach to graphics would be.
I think probably we're talking more like Final Fantasy, probably like realistic looking.
Because the original
models.
is more of like a cartoon.
It's kind of like goofy. It gives me kind of like reminds me of other games from that era, like holy crap, why can't I think of this? Dead Rising.
Dead Rising,
Stuff like that, where it's like not entirely like super realistic, but not entirely super cartoony either, kind of somewhere right in the middle. But yeah, I will say the one piece of bad news is that other than a handful of licensed tracks, most of the soundtrack will be new music. So if you're looking forward to all the old tunes that were in Lollipop Chainsaw, probably gonna have a bit of a different soundtrack, but it is probably gonna be a worthy remake. I think it is definitely something that is worth revisiting.
I loved playing the game. It had a charm all of its own. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what comes of this new one. I want to see trailers come out and stuff. It'd be
unique, goofy, weird Suda51-ness all over this bad boy. He made something weird. Big surprise there. But yeah, no, the game like I mentioned, brought together the talents Suda51, filmmaker James Gunn, and then, as we mentioned before, producer Yoshimura Yasuda, to tell the story of a young cheerleader in high school, Juliet Starling, as she fights her way through endless waves of zombies. I sure hope that weird emo boy doesn't have anything to do with this nefarious plot. He does. He does. Spoiler alert for like an old game. He totally does. All right. Well, let's get some quickie news rolling here.
So I got some big hitters for quickie news. It feels like
kind of big, not short quickie news.
Yeah, big, not short quickie news. I feel like we're gonna have some opinions flying around on this one. We're gonna start from the top here.
Please.
Forspoken delayed.
I hate that. That sucks, man. Boo.
Forspoken delayed till January of 2023.
Okay, I do not like that.
Bad delays.
Bad delays, but it's only till January next year, so it's not it's not too bad.
Here, I'll pull it up for us.
Oh, just show it to me. I'll describe what I'm seeing. The viewers are going to get a treat this episode. Can I guess? Is there dragons in it? Sounds like a game that would have dragons in it. Maybe it's about wheels. Forspoke. Wouldn't that be funny?
So, first I'm going to read their official title here. As a result of ongoing discussions with key partners, we have made the strategic decision to move the launch date of Forspoken to January 24th, 2023.
Well, I've made the strategic decision to decide that sucks.
All game elements are now complete, and development is in its final polishing phase. We would like to thank you for your continued support and patience on this journey. Your excitement for the game inspires us every day, and we cannot wait to share more about Forspoken with you later this summer. This is a Square Enix and Luminous Productions game.
What's it about? What's the whole? Is it like action? We're looking at RPG. Are there dragons in it?
I have no idea.
Nobody knows nothing. Nobody knows anything about this game. No worries. All right, well, let's just move on to the next one. I think the 3 Forspoken fans and 2 Square Enix reps are going to come after us. Forspoken is actually one of our leading titles for next year. All right, here we go. Luminous Productions. What'd they do? Who knows? Square Enix. It's a lady. Oh, just gut punch.
They're beating them up.
Okay, get some Life is Strange. There's a very adorable cat. Now I have interest. Hotel, sitting on the edge of the hotel sign like Daredevil. Whoa! Mystical powers, mystical portal. Oh my god, dude, it's a real life of Psyche. She got transported to Sword Art Online. She's in Elden Ring right now. She's in a big cathedral.
That plume of smoke looked a lot like scorpions.
Whoa, there's a big portal. Whoa, the hotel, and then the mystical game world. Yeah, you better go through that portal. Otherwise, there's no going back. I'll be honest with you. I know how stuff like this works. Oh, bad news. She did not go through the portal, and now she's in big castle world. Holy mother. Oh my god. Dude, this is freaking Xenoblade Chronicles, man. This freaking map is crazy. Big mansion. She probably heard something. Oh my god, what is that? I sure hope no evil bad guys show up to fight me. Oh, she's got bangles. Yeah, okay, I remember this now that I'm seeing she's got the arm bangles. Whoa. Dude, I was right. There's dragons. Smartest person alive. What was magic? Leaping. Yeah, this seems it's coming back to me now. Dude, Assassin's Creed, Valorant,
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Xenoblade map. It looks cool. Probably not top of my list to play, but it seems fun.
I can see why people are excited for something like this.
Gives you that...
it's a big single-player game, too.
Yeah, magic hack and slash. I mean, yeah, the map is crazy big we're looking at right now.
Very beautiful.
And yeah, it looks very pretty. The faces freak me out a little bit. Mainly it's fine. Yeah, it's a big action game. There's tons of magic and stuff you're using, which is cool.
Open world, yeah.
Here's what they're showing. I don't know if the real game's going to be like this. They're not showing there's no like HUD. It was just like the screen. There was no mini map. There was no health bar. You were just doing stuff. That seems cool.
It's delayed till January.
Sucks it got delayed. Looks cool.
Eat it. All right, moving on. 343 Studios.
Halo.
Well, guess what they're doing with the Halo franchise?
Halo Infinite 2.
Nope, they are making a playable level from Halo 2's earth-shattering demo that came out with Earth City. So that's the level that we saw in the trailer for when Halo 2 originally came out. That wasn't a playable level in the actual game.
So making the level from the trailer a real level.
Yes.
Perfect.
Apparently it's been like a big thing that a lot of modders have been trying to do for years, and they're going to make it officially part of the Master Chief Collection.
This time we're taking the fight to them.
That's
the 25th time, says 343 Studios.
An Elden Ring dev, Hidetaka Miyazaki.
Okay, and now, tell me, you said dev. Is Miyazaki not like the main Elden Ring guy?
I'm
pretty sure.
This is quickie news. I did no research. Okay, I just saw a title. I was like, that's it.
Pretty sure Miyazaki is like the main Elden Ring From Software guy.
Anyways, he confirmed that From Software has an unannounced project nearing completion.
What do you guess?
Elden Ring 2.
No. There's no way. My guess is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers open world Dark Souls.
There we go.
That's my guess. And Zordon's like, Rangers, you must defeat the Tree Sentinel 15 times. That's my guess.
Moving on into even bigger news.
Oh, rumor time.
Rumors.
Put the rumor alert on.
GTA 6, big rumors. There's an estimated 75-hour main story that's been leaked, for playtime, not the actual story itself.
Right.
And they are planning the reveal for third quarter this year. So that's going to be fall or late fall. And they're planning the release in fourth quarter of 2024. So that's
far away.
Generally holiday of 2024.
Yeah, far away. Well, that's exciting. Where do you think they're going to go back to Liberty City? Maybe Vice City. Everybody's wanted Vice City for so long because we haven't had Vice City since Vice City.
Yeah,
on the
it's
PS2.
hard to say. They've been keeping it under wraps. That's for sure. This is the first actual leak that had some substance to it.
4 was Liberty City, which is New York.
Yep.
And before that was San Andreas, right?
Yep, San Andreas, which is part of...
it's supposed to be L.A.
L.A., yep.
Yep, so San Andreas was L.A., 4 was Liberty City, which is New York, 5 is back to... L.A., San Andreas.
L.A., Hollywood area.
Yep, and then, yeah.
And then,
I think it'd be cool to go back to Vice City.
Vice City is Miami, for those that don't know.
Yeah, Vice City's supposed to be Miami. That'd be fun. I think it's... place that needs a little bit more love. Obviously, like we mentioned, the last game in Vice City came out a long time ago. So
yeah, it's been a lot on the West Coast. It'd be nice to go back to the East Coast.
And they go, want to go boating, cousin? And he plays Nico Bellic again. That would be good.
It'd be crazy. So adding on to this, GTA 6 rumor, we have some unfortunate news, which kind of was foreseen here. The remasters of Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 have been scrapped after the horribleness that was GTA Trilogy.
I mean, which is like, people are like, oh, it sucks. They're not going to remake Red Dead 1. Sure, it does suck. But would you rather they don't remake it at all? Or would you rather they remake it and it's like the GTA Trilogy where...
It's running on like a phone engine?
Yeah, the entire thing is completely like busted in a billion ways.
Ugh.
Hopefully one day. I think Red Dead Redemption 1 would be a worthy remaster.
I feel like it, they say it's been scrapped, but like in all honesty, it's going to be on the back burner. They're going to redo something with it.
GTA 4 would be fun too, but like, man, that game does not hold up well. The driving in that game is like you're driving on ice.
Yeah.
It is
big old boat on the middle of the road.
So much would need to be done to that game to remaster GTA 4.
The story, though. The story was still great.
Want to go bowling.
Let's talk about something just obscure for gaming here. Destiny's 2 Gjallarhorn.
Yeah.
Gjallarhorn, I'm sorry.
Well, it's pronounced like a Y, man. Gjallarhorn.
It gets a Nerf gun model that's out for sale right now.
You know how to get it?
No, I have no idea.
It's like you have to have the gun in the game or something like that. There was something weird I read about that where it's like you have to have it unlocked in the game to like proof of purchase so you can buy it or something like that. You probably don't need it, but like I think it was for pre-orders or something like that.
So ridiculous.
Something bizarre like that, I think. But yeah, that's pretty cool. It looks cool. I mean, it's like probably the most
I saw a picture of it and like this thing's massive.
Yeah, it's probably the most recognizable gun
They have an adult holding it. They don't have a kid holding it. They had to have an adult hold this thing because it's so giant. There is a new Xbox on the market, and not in the way you're thinking.
Xbox 720. That's right. The rumors were true.
There is a custom Thor Love and Thunder Series X that was announced and previewed, but it's only for a sweepstakes. There's only going to be one.
Classic. You can play Fortnite on it, just like your best friend Thor does in Endgame.
So the crazy thing about this Xbox is that it's literally Thor's hammer. That's the shape it's in. There's literally a handle coming out from like the side of it.
That's sweet. Oh, I get it. So like the rectangle is like the hammer part.
Yes,
and then the handle's coming out the side. That's pretty good.
And I guess people are saying like you are able to pick it up like the hammer, but man, I'd be so like, I don't know if I could trust it that much.
Yeah, really.
Going on. Speaking of Microsoft, UK Competition and Market is investigating Microsoft for the Activision merger.
Oh, bloody, what's all this then?
Apparently they don't think that's a fair market deal for the rest of them, so they're doing an investigation.
Microsoft, we're going to shut down your monopoly.
But you know who isn't getting shut down?
Who?
Nintendo, because they just released a new Splatoon 3 edition of the OLED Switch.
I have an employee who's trying to get one of those, so good luck.
Good luck to her. In the biggest quickie news that we could have possible.
Hey, hold on for a second. Hey, do you have what time is it? Do you have the time?
7:26.
7:26. That's so weird. I thought it was Morbin time.
Oh!
Morbius is coming to Fortnite.
Yes, Morbius is coming to Fortnite.
We've all waited. You've waited. People have been clamoring for it, saying it's Morbin time. It's Morbin. Now it really is Morbin time.
It's going to be Morbin time.
He's in Fortnite.
Sony's going to re-release Morbius
A
in
third
theaters
time,
again.
A third time.
Third time.
Bring it back again.
We got some other fun news besides Morbius in Fortnite.
What do you mean? It doesn't get more fun than that.
So, does the name Mary de Marley make any notoriety in your head?
Mary tomorrow? Maybe. No, it does not.
Marley? Well, Mary was a writer for Deus Ex in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure. Big titles.
And has officially been confirmed as a writer for Mass Effect 4.
It's exciting.
Very prominent writer being officially recognized as a writer.
We want the good people on the new Mass Effect.
You know, they're not messing around this time.
Fingers crossed.
Sony's Horizon series is getting a TV adaptation. So that's Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West.
And Horizon Call of the Mountain, the VR game coming out on PSVR 2.
And it's going to get an interesting title. It's going to get titled Horizon 2074.
Just so you know, it's the future. If you never played the games,
so you know.
You never played the games, you're going to be like, well, is this Horizon like 2022? Or no, now you're going to know it's the future, man.
So I don't know how I feel about that. I want to be excited because I love the Horizon series. But at the same time, kind of scared because that title does not follow at all what their formula is right now.
Yeah, it should be, I don't know, it should be interesting.
That's the hope, right?
I don't know.
I'll watch it when it comes out. I'm interested.
Was the Uncharted movie good?
I haven't seen it yet.
Will the Last of Us show be good? I guess we'll see, right?
And ending out a quickie news here, which hasn't been that quick this time around. Gwent, Rogue Mage.
Everyone's favorite trading card game, Gwent.
It's getting a release. It's been released as of today, I believe.
Like a physical release, or it's like a game?
No, I believe it's a downloadable game, but it's being released. It's a full-fledged game for Gwent that they had like a beta going out for a while that turned into like a downloadable content. Very limited in what it had. This is supposed to be like above that and more like what was in the game and more fleshed out. More
in-depth Gwent. Fans asked for it, and now it's here.
I loved playing Gwent.
Hey man, it's fun.
I remember looking at that and I was like, man, I want to buy Gwent decks just so I can play them.
And you can get them, right? The special edition of Witcher 3 had physical Gwent decks.
Yep,
which was cool.
They're so good. If you haven't had the chance to sit down and play Gwent, I highly suggest doing that. You know, pick up a copy of Witcher 3, play Gwent on Gwent app that's out there, or buy Gwent, Rogue Mage, and just have the time of your life. Great card game in a video game.
All right.
Let's talk about the big thing on the menu. This is
the big one. We've been waiting. A chill wind blows through the air. Ragnarok is coming. God of War Ragnarok.
Woo!
Finally has a release date. Lots of rumors speculating whether it was actually... So it was announced for this year. We had known that probably since last winter or early this year. And there's a State of Play where they showed off that trailer like 9 months ago or whatever and said, hey, 2022, God of War Ragnarok. Well, we're halfway through the year, over, and we haven't heard anything, right? No new trailers, multiple State of Plays have come and gone, and we haven't heard anything about Ragnarok. But I wouldn't call it like a shadow drop, but pretty much just like this is like a couple days for us in our time, probably maybe a week and a half, something like 2 weeks ago at this point for you guys. But they just kind of released a 30-second trailer that has a release date and released an unboxing video of the special editions, which we're going to argue about, I'm sure, in a little bit. But yeah, so the wait is finally over for God of War fans. God of War Ragnarok slated for a November 9th release for this year.
So I remember, as we were doing episodes here for news and stuff, we would do a news episode and they'd be like, oh, it's coming out this year, by November at least.
We do the next episode and they'd say, it's not coming out.
It's coming out for the year after.
2023.
And it's like, what's happening? And then we do the next episode and be like, oh no, it's back to this year. And so...
yeah, rumors were inconsistent.
It was all over the place. No one knew.
And then game director Cory Barlog of the first game, I think he's the game director of the sequel too, but he was kind of tweeting out cryptic, his Twitter bio would change, and every time he would tweet something, people would hyper analyzed. Oh my God, Corey tweeted this. That means Ragnarok comes out next year. Stuff like that. Just kind of insane.
It's crazy how fixated people can get about these things.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm extremely excited. God of War is something I've always loved since I was a kid. Played 1 and 2 a ton. Still haven't played 3, working on it, but I played the 2018 one, PS4. God of War, freaking amazing. Man, the combat in that game, oof. And the story, oh my God, what can't I say about that game? Seriously.
I own all the God of Wars to date. I have like all the little special editions that came out for like PSP, and I have the full releases for the PS3.
You don't have all the special. You don't have the PS3 Ascension, like the gold.
Yeah, I do.
You have that? That's freaking crazy, man.
I am a big fan of God of War. It's one of PlayStation's, honestly, probably one of their best properties.
Yep.
Really a game that defined the series for what they were trying to put out. You know, it put button mashers, you know, what essentially it was. Hack and slash, if you will. Really put it on the map, and, you know, we wouldn't have had...
Ultra-violent, cool, sleek, sexy, fun games, right?
We wouldn't have had things like Dante's Inferno if it wasn't for God of War.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the old God of War is amazing, set the tone, and then the 2018 kind of a remake, kind of not. Kind of taking a different direction, gameplay's a little different. But yeah, let's talk about the trailer a little bit. So the original trailer, we'd mentioned, set it for a release this year. The short 30-second trailer is just like Kratos and Atreus, and they are kind of fighting some Draugr zombies. And then I think the line is something like, even when there is doubt, they're both speaking, even when there is doubt. It's like back and forth, Kratos is talking, even when there is doubt. And through your most difficult times, you need to know. And then they both land in this like canyon. They go, you need to know you are not alone. And then they both say it together at the end. And then you see a big wolf, big scary wolf in the background, which maybe it's Fenrir. Ooh, mythology buffs out here going crazy. It's exciting. They showed a little bit in the last trailer last year too about like Tyr's going to be in it, which is crazy. I thought he was dead. I thought that was kind of the thing, was that he was killed, but I guess he wasn't killed, and he's like a huge big guy, and big spoilers for a game from 2018, but the end of the first God of War is like, so you beat God of War, and Fimbulwinter starts. Fimbulwinter is the 3-year winter before all realms are annihilated. Boom. That's what Ragnarok is. Ragnarok is the destruction of all 9 realms. So you beat the first game, and Mimir, your companion, other than your son Atreus, is like, oh, the chill wind is blowing. That must be the start of Fimbulwinter. And then Fimbulwinter, at the end of the game, there's like a post-credits cutscene a la Marvel movies, and Thor shows up at your house, and he's gonna beat the crap out of you, because in the first game you kill his 2 sons. Whoops, sorry.
It's almost like murdering someone else's family is a bad thing.
Oh, it's fun. Okay, first of all, Kratos wasn't gonna murder him. Atreus murdered the first son, and then the second son came back and was like, now I'm gonna kill you, and you were like, no dude, I'm gonna kill you. And then
I am Kratos.
Yeah, then you kill him, and then Thor's unhappy. Well, that's the whole thing about God of War, is like they take a kind of interesting stance on Norse mythology, because they kind of paint him as like douches, which is like fair. Like they're like, Thor shows up, destroys stuff, and leaves. And like Odin is a paranoid guy who is always watching everything that happens, and he's always trying to control what happens because he's super paranoid. So it painted a very interesting image of Norse mythology.
I don't know. I might get some backlash on this one, but they made it almost symbolically the same as Greek mythology, because Zeus was that way. Zeus is very paranoid.
And that's the whole bit, right? Was like, okay, God of War 3, Kratos killed the entire, spoilers for the entire God of War series, I guess. He kills the entire Greek pantheon because they betrayed him, I don't know, like 9 million times. So he kills the entire Greek pantheon. He moves out to Scandinavia, chilling, and then the Norse gods show up, start being like, hey, you're like a Greek god, and we would like you to leave. And then that's the whole crux of the first game, is you're fighting with Balder, who is immune to all threats, physical or otherwise. It'll be really interesting to see. People are theorizing you'll get to, usually when Kratos defeats his enemies, he gets a weapon or upgrade of some kind, right? So in the past, you would get like a gauntlet that could throw Zeus's lightning bolts, and you would get, a shield from this god, and Hermes' boots, and blah, 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 right? People are theorizing you're going to get Mjolnir, which would be cool.
be insane.
And that would be really interesting because so in the first game you use the Leviathan axe, which does like frost damage, and then you use the Blades of Chaos later on in the game, fire damage, and it'd be cool to use Mjolnir, which would be like lightning damage, which would be sweet.
I feel that every God of War so far has just kind of built on top of the other. To the point that you're just like, Kratos is going to do something crazy.
Well, he still had upgrades from some of the other stuff because he had the Blades of Chaos, but he still had the Guardian Shield.
Yep.
Which is from the earlier games, like the shield on his arm that extends into a shield. But yeah, so let's
talk about them options for pre-ordering this game.
Yes. And this is where we're going to argue a lot. We were talking about this beforehand, too.
We're like, we got to save this. It's going to be juicy.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so I watched the video where the voice actor for Thor unboxes the special editions, of which there is 2. So let's talk about the normal editions first. Launch edition, which I believe you just get by pre-ordering.
Yep.
Is...
You get some DLC.
Yeah, you get a Kratos Risen Snow Armor, and then you get Atreus Risen Snow Tunic. Also, Atreus sounds way different, just for he sounds like a teenager. Now, which the voice actor probably is. I don't know if it's the same voice actor. I know Chris Judge still plays Kratos. I do not know if the same voice actor plays Atreus. Anyways, you're going to get Kratos Risen Snow Armor, which is like a cool, he looks really good, he's like cool white armor, bright white armor. And then Atreus Risen Snow Tunic. Then there's the Digital Deluxe Edition.
So this one is labeled for digital.
Yes. So I don't think you can get these rewards unless you buy the Digital Deluxe Edition or unless you get one of the special editions. But you get the Kratos Darkdale Armor, which is kind of like a black armor. Then you get Atreus Darkdale Attire. It says parentheses cosmetic, so I don't know if the Risen Snow one is not a cosmetic or if it does something. But the Darkdale attire for Atreus is just a cosmetic. You get the Darkdale Blades of Chaos handles, you get the Darkdale Leviathan axe grip, you get an avatar set, you get a PS4 theme. Rest in peace, PS5 players like me, no themes on PS5 still. Then you get an official digital soundtrack and a Dark Horse Comics digital mini art book.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you get like a full armor set, full weapon set, and a bunch of other cool little bonuses, which is sweet. And then, now we're getting to the heavy hitters. There are 2 special editions. We do not know how much these are yet. You can pre-order them on July 15th.
Yep, July 15th.
So that will be probably by the time this episode comes out, you will probably know how much these things cost. We don't. We're probably going to do some guessing.
A little bit of speculation.
A little bit of speculation, as we like to do here. But so let's talk about the collector's edition. And I'm going to save the best or worst for last. So it comes in a big old box, kind of like the Stone Masons edition did for the original God of War.
Yep.
Comes in a big box that is a replica of the Knowledge Keeper's Shrine from the first game. So the front opens up like a shrine. It has like sweet art on it. Comes with a Dwarven wooden dice set, which has it's like red. They're like wooden dice, which is cool too. But it's like a full set D20, D4, D6, whole deal. And
super
a little
cool.
sack. You get 2 Vanir Twins carved figures, which I really like because the Stonemasons edition came with 2 little carved figures. So now you have like a little, if you have both, you get a little set of 4 carved figures, which is cool. You get all of the previous digital deluxe bonuses, so all the Darkdale armor stuff, the art book, PS4 theme, avatar set. The big piece here, you get the
arguably the coolest.
Yes, you get the 16-inch Mjolnir hammer replica.
Oh, it's so good.
It looks so freaking good, man. Oh my gosh, it looks sweet. And then I'm gonna mention it. We're not gonna get into it for a little bit, but you get a steelbook case. The case.
I'll hold my tongue.
The case is empty. There is no disc inside the case. You get a digital download code, which works either on PS4 or PS5. I have thoughts about this. Everybody does. A lot of people have been labeling it a controversy, which I think is kind of blowing it out of proportion. I don't think it's a controversy. I think it's a choice.
Before we get too into it, let's talk about the last edition.
Okay. I'm heated. I'm heated. We watched a video earlier where some dude was like, "This is such a bad..." I'm like, dude, shut up, man. You're killing me. Okay, it's called the Jotnar edition, which I think was the Giants. I think the Giants were called the Jotnar, right?
Yep.
Jotunheim is the realm of the Giants.
Yep.
So Jotnar edition, you get everything from the Digital Deluxe edition. The themes, the avatars, the Darkdale set, whole deal. You get everything from the collector set. The hammer, the carved figures,
the dice,
the box. Well, you get a different set of dice.
Oh, no.
Called Brock's Dice Set. So they're like dark blue. Like Brock. Get it? Brock is dark. I don't know if they're different. Honestly, I couldn't really see them very well in the video. But I think they're just blue instead of red. Beyond that, you get a pin set. The pin set is really cool. They're big. They look like big.
They're big
The guy's
pins.
holding the pins. He's like, these are heavy. I'm like, yeah, they look heavy. So there's a silver bear pin. which represents Kratos. There's a gold falcon pin, which represents Faye, which is Kratos' wife, Atreus' mom, who passed away. That's the other whole part of the first game, is you're taking your wife's ashes to the highest mountain in the realms.
Yep.
So gold falcon is Faye, silver bear is Kratos, and then there's a wolf pin, which is silver and gold. Get it?
Because he's a mix of both.
Get it? Atreus is a mix of both. Correct. And that's also on the steelbook is a wolf and a bear. So I think that's kind of the theming is Atreus is wolf, Kratos is a bear. So when they do their God of War Brother Bear spinoff, now you know. Atreus is the wolf, Kratos is the bear. You get a Yggdrasil cloth map, which looks amazing. It is a sweet map of the world tree.
It's in color, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah, it looks really pretty. You get a drop near ring.
And a cloth bag to hold it
in. I guess I should say you get the drop near ring with a cloth bag to hold it, which is like again, if you know your Norse mythology, very important ring to Norse mythology. I have a feeling if they include it in the special edition, it's probably going to play a part in the game. I would assume like Kratos will get the drop near ring, or it'll be some story element where we need to get the drop near ring. Then you get a 7-inch vinyl with 2 tracks by Bear McCreary. The vinyl has its own little art, which is like their handprint. It's Kratos and Atreus' handprint that makes a little heart, which was another thing on the first game was Faye put her handprints on all these trees, and those were the trees that she wanted to be cremated with. That was the wood you burned to cremate her and take her ashes.
This is also where I'm very excited. I love vinyls. They're so cool.
Yeah, it's a little baby vinyl, but it's green.
Yeah.
It's very green.
Like a few, I want to say fuchsia, it's not fuchsia, but like a neon lime green.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. And so that's the difference, is you get the ring, the vinyl, the different dice, and the pin set.
And the steelbook.
And the steelbook with no... We're going to talk about it in a moment. So what? I think we watched the video. Was the guy saying he was guessing 150?
Yeah, he was guessing 150 on the Jotnar edition, which
Seems
I think
low.
is so low.
Seems low, right?
If it is, though, that is a steal.
Yeah,
I am there. I am buying it.
Yeah, $150 for the Jotnar edition. I would be in on that.
My
I'm guessing
educated guess here is going to be 250.
250. I was going to guess 200. Yeah, so it's probably going to be a little spendy for sure. And I think even the standard edition, how modern games are, PS4 is going to be $60, PS5 is going to be $70. That's my guess. That's what AAA stuff has been recently. All your sports titles and Horizon Forbidden Wests are $70 retail, PS5's $60 if you're still playing on yucky old PS4. Gross.
Some of us aren't as fortunate as others.
I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just making a joke. Let's get into it, I guess, huh?
Here's the deal.
There's a steelbook.
It has no disc. It has a nice little piece of paper that says you can download this game.
You can do a free download. So you're going to spend, let's say $150 for the collector's edition. That's my guess.
Yep.
Okay. You're going to pay $150. Now, in the video we watched, this gentleman's like, I think it's really rude that Sony's going to make the fans pay twice.
He was very complaining about it.
He was very complaining about it. He's like, Sony's forcing the fans to buy it twice. I'm like, incorrect. Why would you need to buy it twice? You already have the game. You're going to spend $150 on the special edition and get the game included. And you're going to be like, yeah, well, there's no disc in the case. Well, when the collapse of society comes and you can no longer play your digital copy of Ragnarok, I think you'll maybe have bigger things going on in your mind than being like, man, I wish I had a disc of God of War Ragnarok so I could play it on my PS5
Yeah,
while society collapses around me.
I'll be like, dang, I can't play Gran Turismo 7 anymore.
It sucks. How am I going to earn the 9 million Gran Turismo bucks to buy one car? I don't know. It's just, my whole thing is like, I get that it sucks not having the disc. I am that person. I want the disc. But increasingly, as I play my PS5, and especially as I play my Xbox One, stuff like Game Pass exists, all these things exist. I am, and I think a lot of people are more accustomed to digital. I've had tons of people who come like, "Can I help you find?" They're like, "Oh no, I'm just looking for Magic cards, Pokemon cards, or whatever." I play all my stuff digitally now, anyways, which was valid. I mean, it's valid enough that the PS5 and the Series S are all digital, right? Like. It's not like, because that was the thing with the Xbox One. Xbox One was going to be all digital. Everybody was like, whoa, that sucks. We hate that. But now that they've kind of trickled in this idea of like, oh, here's what all digital looks like, it's popular enough that now we have physical consoles that are digital only. And we did even for the Xbox One S. There was an all-digital model.
I'm very much on the other side of that fence. I am a collector. I have going over 2,500 physical copies of games that we have obtainable to us. It's what makes this podcast possible, honestly. And I don't care that like the collector's edition doesn't come with the game or something. The area that I'm kind of stuck on is the fact that the Jotnar edition, which, you know, let's say it's $250. $250 just include the game to me and the, you know, voucher for, you know, the PS4 or PS5 digital copy. There's no reason you can't do that. I mean, it's the idea that it's a top tier availability for what you are offered for options, and yet we are not getting the top tier option.
But here's my thing on that. If you, let's say Jotnar Edition, they said we're going to put the game disc in, you'd have to have 4 separate copies that people could buy. You'd have to have the PS4 Jotnar Edition, the PS5 Jotnar Edition with disc on both. Then you need to have the all digital Jotnar Edition PS5. Then you need to have the all digital Jotnar PS4 Edition. I guess you can combine those last two. It's just the code. But
even then, like, there's no need for that third option. Just have a PS4 one and a PS5 one.
Right, but what? Okay, you buy the Jotnar Edition for $250, but you have an all digital PS5. So now you have a disc that you can't use.
Or why? Here's a better option. Why can't they just go? If you order the Jotnar Edition, you still get the empty case and all that, but then you get your choice of a PS4 or PS5 copy.
Because then it's like a whole thing. If they print an empty case and a code, they can send 5 million units into production tomorrow, make it, and it's done. If they have to make a digital version and a PS4 physical version and a PS5 physical version, it goes from being like 5 million units on 3 separate, you know, you have to, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot. A lot of people are like, well, they can just slip a disc in there. They already have the disc made, slip a disc inside. They're different factories, right? It's not like the Mjolnir statues made where they process the PS5 discs, you know?
I mean, the thing is, though, like, just think it'd be easier for them to just be, or not easier, I shouldn't say that. It's not easier. You know, it is a bit more complicated, a bit more convoluted. There's more into it.
They'd have to get shipped around.
But the idea is that you're paying, you know, because, like, let's be honest. Jotnar Edition probably cost them what? Let's be real here. $10? $15?
For the whole thing?
To make it?
Yeah, the whole thing?
Yeah.
The statue and the dice and the...
Well, you know, you got to think about they have this giant production line. These units probably are much cheaper because of that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also like...
Let's say it's $100. $100 for them to make it.
Sure, let's say it's $100 for them to make it.
They're going to charge us $250. They're going to make $150 off each purchase.
Sure.
You know, the disc, and like, if they were to just offer that as like its own thing, and then offer like a voucher for a, you know, because this would only be on pre-order. That's what I'm saying here. It's only on pre-order.
Yep. They
could tell, you know, the distributor, Best Buy, GameStop, whoever they are going through, if they order this edition, they have a voucher for their choice of game. They still have the, you know, the empty case inside, but then you get to choose one of the games. You know, they're gonna spend maybe, you know, we'll go real high here, $150 in total value of production. You know, shipping it out, making it, and all that. Yep. And they're gonna get, you know, at least half of that, if not double back.
Yeah, they're gonna make a ton of money on these. I don't disagree, and that's.
I'm just saying it's not unfeasible for them to do something like that.
Yes, and that's, I agree.
And as a physical collector, it's kind of where I'm at. You know, you're
obviously paying... I mean, the God of War Stonemasons edition came with the steelbook with a physical copy of the game, right? Like, it's should be a thing, and I'm with you on that. It sucks. I would love to put this on my shelf and have a disc in the case. I want that more than anything. Absolutely. I'm just saying, for all the people out there who are complaining, saying like, Sony's making me buy it twice. That's not true. They're giving you the game. You're buying.
You're definitely not buying it twice. Like I said, my only issue is with the Jotnar edition. The Jotnar edition.
Yes,
alone.
The most expensive edition should come with a physical copy,
in
digital
some
copy.
Way.
Yeah, something. You both. Who cares, right? And that's the whole thing, right? The reason these are happening, because the same thing happened with Horizon Forbidden West. Special edition for that shipped with an empty steelbook case and a code to download it. The reason we're seeing that happen is because they're all digital consoles. If the PS5, I can pretty much guarantee this, if the only PS5 units that existed had disc trays, we'd still be getting games in cases. Absolutely.
I don't think it's just because we're hitting the digital age here. I think it's more along the lines of the fact that we're caught between 2 different system generations. We're caught between the 8th generation and the 9th generation. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. I think that's where we're having trouble is because with, you know, the pandemic that happened and everything, production got way slowed down. Production of these made costs skyrocket. And so people just weren't able to get into the new generation yet. So they have this big divide between, PS4 people and PS5 people, and they're trying to find a middle ground. It's probably why Horizon came out that way. They're trying to find that middle ground right now where, they could just offer, if PS5 was able to roll out smoothly like it should have been able to, and PS5 was like the main thing on the market, PS4 had been like pretty much phased out at this point because it's been, years now that they've been trying to do this. I think we would have a God of War Ragnarok edition for the Jotnar edition that would have just a single PS5 disc in it with a voucher for the game.
And that's kind of what I'm saying as well, right? Like,
I think it's more that we're caught between the two rather than it's a digital thing, though.
Right, but yeah, because we're kind of between, they would have to make a PS4 version and a PS5 version and a digital version, right? Whereas, yeah, I agree. If we were 2 more years down the line, it'd just be a PS5 game. Yeah, I don't know. For everybody who's like, Sony's making me buy the game twice, here's my thing. You're going to be like, I want the physical game. I get it. Wait 2 years, buy a $20 copy. The game will go down in price. The original God of War, they're giving it away. It's free. If you have a PS5, you can get God of War for free. They just gave it away again like 2 months ago. You have like PSN, PS Plus. They gave it away for free again.
So here's my little confession. We talked, as you were saying, buy the Ragnarok edition. Buy your physical copy secondhand.
Buy the Jotnar edition and then buy a cheap second-hand copy.
And I've been here complaining that, well, they should include it. I originally had gotten my Stonemason edition, and then I was like, oh, hey, I also need, like, the other copy, or the Favorites edition, I think is what they call for the PS4 one.
Sure, like the red case?
Yeah, the red case. I also need that. So I went out and bought that as well. It just goes to show, like, there is no perfect answer. Especially for collectors like me. Obviously, I'm kind of like the oddball case in all this.
Well, this is what I said. I said this would... Imagine we lived in a bizarro world where digital was prominent instead of physical. And they shipped it with a disc. Everybody would be like, oh, why'd they ship it with disc? Stupid. What am I going to do with a disc, right? It really, yeah, like, it really could go either way. There are going to be people who want the physical who are like, this sucks. There are people who play the digital, like... I have a coworker who got the Horizon Forbidden West special edition, didn't have a PS5, got an all digital PS5, having a great time. Like there are going to be people on both sides always where they're going to be like, this sucks or this doesn't affect me. And
I think we're leaning into the question of what's it going to be? Are we going to move to a more digital space? Are we going to stay in a more physical space?
Yeah, pick one.
It's hard to say. Who knows at this point? We're in such a limbo that we're seeing this thing where they're just trying to find a middle ground. They're like, yeah, we're going to give you the case for a physical copy, but we're also going to include this digital version. Yep. And they're just torn. It's not Sony's fault. Microsoft's been doing it too.
Yeah, it is a money thing at the end of the day, I think, where, it costs more money to print those discs, put them in cases. Let's print out a piece of paper with a code on it and hand it to you. It is just cheaper to do that too. And the sad news, and again, like I want a disc. I want a disc in that case. I don't want to make it seem like this is fine. I'm hunky dory with this. No, I want a disc in that case, man. Absolutely. I don't want to spend 2 terabytes downloading God of War, right? That sucks.
The thing I think about a lot, people aren't always as fortunate to live in a good place with good internet. And so I remember way back when I used to live out in the southwest of the U.S. here, I lived in a place where our data was limited to like 20 gigs a month. Mm-hmm. And that was for house Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, man, imagine some person has to download this 100 gig update to God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I grew up in the mountains, and it took me 3 days of me running my Xbox 360 on with Wi-Fi to download Battle Block Theater, which I'm pretty sure currently my computer could probably do in like 2 minutes.
Like,
yeah, I agree.
I think about that a lot for like the digital reasons. I'm like, yeah. I think it's too hard to kill physical at the end of the day.
Somebody have to download 2 terabytes, and you're gonna run your Xbox for a week trying to download freaking God of War Ragnarok.
Hope it doesn't overheat.
PS5. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's tough. It's not an easy choice for corporations to make. I think it's not an easy choice for consumers to make.
I think the better question to ask here at the end of the day is, what do you think it should be? Should there be a physical copy? Should there not be?
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, like, I'm fine with digital copy. I'm fortunate to have a 4 terabyte hard drive. You know, like I'm gonna play this game no matter what. If I had to buy 2 copies, I would. And that's kind of my thing about it too. Is people are gonna buy this game. The game's gonna sell units, whether it's digital or physical. It will move.
Yeah, I've spent plenty of time just, seeing a game come out, waiting a couple years, picking it up for dirt cheap, and then playing it, a few years down the road.
In 5 years, you'll be downloading it for free on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
It's like a guarantee. But yeah, no, it's tough. I always came to that thing. I always wanted physical, right? But I'm not on like a in-depth hunt, but I'm probably going to get a Series S eventually because we're talking about Starfield. I want to play Starfield really bad, man. I have a craving for Bethesda Starfield.
Wait for that 3-hour Starfield special episode.
Yeah. One last thing I'm going to say about this before we go is this won't be the last time you'll see it. Guaranteed. Horizon Forbidden West had it. God of War Ragnarok had it. And we're talking like PlayStation's big exclusives, right? You will see more special editions that come with codes.
It's not gonna just stay exclusive to PlayStation either. This is gonna be a thing that happens to every console.
Yeah, I believe it. I absolutely. Eventually, we will see that transition to just.
I think
just
the
digital.
last console that will face this is gonna be Nintendo. I
You
think
really
they're
think
gonna
so?
hold out.
You really think so? They already sell code cards.
I mean, that's true, but
They sell Fortnite. There's a handful. It's not a lot, but there's a handful of games like Assassin's Creed Collection. There's an Assassin's Creed Collection that's just a code card in an empty Switch case.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a ton, but there's like a handful. I've seen them. There's a handful that's just a code in a case. Fortnite obviously is like that, just like DLC packs. It's just code in a case.
Who knows? Trying times they are for collectors.
A year from now, I'll be in our VR space. You'll be watching us in the metaverse.
Metaverse, we're gonna be, like VTubers.
Oh no! Wow, darkest timeline for this podcast. We become VTubers.
Oh, we're gonna start timeline rant at some point, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for the Quick Save podcast today. I'm Josh.
I'm Alex. Links below.
Links below. Ragnarok trailers, unboxing videos, and more.
We'll see you next time, boy.
Or read it. Play the credit theme, boy. My leg. This is gonna be a good clip for your clip show. Oh,
Josh is now dying.
oh God, twisted. Oh, that sucked. Damn you, Todd Howard. Why have you done this to me?
Daddy Todd didn't like the way you were talking.
Damn you, Starfield. Oh, Todd Howard's killing me. Oh.